morning, Seaside. I'd like to invite everyone in the family room to come on in. We're going to get started. I'm Rebecca Venkatraman. I'm a ministerial student. I'm a practitioner. I'm the head of congregant care. And today, I'm the head of youth and family. So my hat tree is full. And I don't know about you, but somehow it got to be August 6th. How did that happen? Summer is just flying by, guys. So today after service, we have Basic Beliefs in Emerson. We also have the Divine Connection group is going to be meeting in the garden. And to hold the light for us today, we have our head of our Practitioner Core Council, David Yankassis. Monday night, we have a couple more weeks of our gong meditation, the deep gong meditation with Deep. And you guys, if you haven't experienced this, it's magical. And we're only going to have it a couple more weeks this summer, and then it will be over. We also have a sign up in the family room for Sacred Circles. Sacred Circles are starting this week, and they're going to be on 4 weeks of Law of Attraction, Esther Hicks, and Abraham. On Tuesday, the North American Interfaith Network is here at Seaside, and we have a new opportunity for Gourmets for Gods. There's going to be a sign-up table in the family room, and it's going to be open to everybody, and the date for that is going to be August 26th, so stop by and have a look at that. And now we have a really exciting guest coming to Seaside. She's going to be here on August 20th. Her name is Esther Nicholson. She's going to be our speaker, our vocalist, and she's going to facilitate a workshop after service. And just to give us a little more background, Marv has a clip for us.
Esther Nicholson is our featured speaker of the evening. And you know, when I bring people in, they're always good. But it's always wonderful to bring someone in that was also one of your students for many years and has gone out into the world. Many of you have seen her here at Agape over the years as a singer. And she's now an author, fine practitioner, but also a powerful presenter. But Esther has lived her message. This is not memorization or reading something and presenting it. When you see Esther, you see an individual who's gone through the fire and come out the other side, and has a powerful message.
But as I continued to go within, I found out some things about myself. And because we're all one, I found out some things about y'all. So I'm going to talk about y'all. Is that all right? Here's what I discovered. You had a wish. You said an affirmation. You said a prayer for your heart's desire to come forth. And the universe was like, bam, it is done. Before you call, I will answer, and while you are yet speaking, I will hear. It is done. But you forgot to get dressed. You forgot to get dressed for your own party. You called forth peace that passeth understanding, and freedom and spiritual liberation and love and wholeness, but you want to hang on to the old story and the old pain of resentment and blame and worry, and it's incongruent with the vibrational frequency of the feast that you've called forth. Get dressed.
Wow. And we are going to be lucky enough to experience her live right here on our stage August 20th. So be sure and join us. And now I'd like to invite you all to stand and greet your neighbor.
Good morning, Seaside. Please remain standing, and we're going to do our congregational song, God is my source. God is my source. give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. It gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Go ahead, take it away. Power, He gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. He gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. Thank you, God. Hey, thank you, Leslie. Hey, when's your choir start up?
On Sunday, September the 10th, 1 o'clock.
Right there. You going to feed them or something that first day?
Yeah, maybe have to.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get them in. So
Exactly.
September 10th, back in action. That's good. All right. Glad you're here. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo, what a joy it is to be with you on this wonderful, aloha day. You could be sitting in the Hawaiian Islands with this kind of humidity and weather. It's high consciousness we are to be able to bring in the tropics right here without having to go anywhere. The power of California's consciousness. People come all over just for this. So how fun to be able to share this summer morning with you, to be able to celebrate the Spirit, experience that fullness of the divine right here, and just welcome you. For Seaside is a welcoming community. We care, we love each other, no matter where we may be on our spiritual path. This is a community that just is a place that is open and affirming for whoever you are and wherever you may be. So grateful you're here. We believe Spirit first always and in all ways. And so a wonderful way to get going is to have one of our practitioners, the wonderful Deb Sadler, to take us to a deeper place with prayer. And here she is, voted Teacher of the Year, and then retires. So no going back to school in September for you.
New beginnings. I would like to join you. I would like to ask you to join me into the stillness. There is a power that moves through all that there is. There is only one power, one presence, one mind. And this one mind is all thoughts and all wisdom and all knowledge. And it is infinite in its potential. And Spirit is that compassionate, loving energy that is omnipresent, that moves in, through, around, and is all that there is at all times. For Spirit is joy and peace, and Spirit is whole and complete and perfect. And I am one with this divine intelligence. I am one with the joy and the ease and the grace that is Spirit. For I am Spirit expressing in individualized form. And as this is true for me, this is true for each person within the sound of my voice. that we are each that divine download of spirit, bringing our unique gifts to express them and to live them and to be aligned with joy. And I know that today's talk by Dr. Christian is focused on trust, knowing that we are always guided, we are always guarded, and that as we trust in the universe, our lives unfold perfectly and divinely. It is a beautiful day to be here at Seaside, and I am so grateful.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to you. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Deb, for bringing us into our service today so beautifully. So welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Robin Holt, and it is my great joy to welcome everyone here today, because this is the place we come on Sunday to really just come together as a community to be reminded of the truth of our being and the truth that we live by each and every day that we're not at Seaside. So if you are here for the first time, a very special welcome. And we have a welcome package for you at the back of the room. And inside that welcome package, you will find some coupons for the bookstore and for some coffee and muffins, and a beautiful CD by Reverend Christian answering the question as what is the basic beliefs of the science of mind philosophy. So if you're a first-timer here today, please avail yourself of that welcome package. So today, Christian's going to be talking about trust. So I wanted to remind myself of what our founder, Ernest Holmes, said on the topic of trust. So this comes from page 33 in the Science of Mind text. There is a power in the universe that honors our faith in it. There is a law in the universe which exacts the utmost farthing. We all wish to feel that the power behind everything is good as well as creative, an eternal and changeless intelligence in which man lives and moves and has his being. Intuitively, we sense that every man in his native state is some part or manifestation of this eternal principle, and that the entire problem of limitation, evil, suffering, and uncertainty is not God-ordained, but is the result of ignorance. It has been written that the truth shall make us free, provided we know the truth. And we note that the evolution of man's consciousness brings with it the acquisition of new powers and higher possibilities. When we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. We must learn to come under that divine government and accept the fact that nature's table is ever filled. Never was there a cosmic famine. The finite alone has wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always a hidden something in the inner being that has never been violated. We may stumble, but always there is that eternal voice, forever whispering in our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. So let's just close our eyes again and take those beautiful words from our founder into that beautiful stillness, that place where we go to make that beautiful connection with the divine. For I know that spirit is all there is. It moves in as and through every piece of creation, and it has done so forever and will do so forevermore. For God denies no one and provides everything. God is our source, and it is from this creative intelligence that the goodness of life flows unceasingly. And I know that I am an expression of that divine source, and that I choose each and every day to express joy and love and peace. For in doing so, I am the highest expression of God I can be. And I know that whatever I attract into my life is in my life for the highest good of the development of my soul, for the evolution of my soul. And so it is all good. And I know that all is well in my life and in the lives of each and every person here. For we are all one. We are all connected. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this day, for this community, for this teaching. Grateful that I can trust in the universe to bring all the good that is mine, for I am denied nothing. So I release this word into the law, knowing that it is already done, for the mind of God can only ever say yes to that which I say into it. And so I just release these words and simply say, and so it is. Amen.
Beautiful Reverend Robin. This sounds so beautiful. Reverend Robin, congratulations on your new ordainment. So we are very blessed for a wonderful, true duo to be with us today. They are no strangers to Seaside. They've been with us actually for many, many, many years. It's been a few months since they've been here, so we're thrilled to have them back. And I want you to put your hands together and give a wonderful Seaside welcome to Miss Janice Edwards and Nathan Fry. I went totally blank. Thank you so much. Pretty good. So glad to have them here. And also, before I let them turn it over to them, I want to thank you guys also for the wonderful birthday wish. I got it. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Get it.
2, 1, 2, 3. Need the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions. I wanna stop and thank you. I just wanna stop and thank you. Oh, yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Feels so fine, yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you.
Close my eyes at night, wondering where I'd be without you in my life. Everything was such a bore. All the things I did seems I've done them before. You brighten up all my days in so many ways. I wanna stop. Thank you. I wanna stop and thank you. Hey, how sweet it is
To be loved by you. Feel the spirit now, yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Come on, Bob. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were better to me than I was to myself. I mean, there's you, there's nobody else. I wanna stop and thank you. I just wanna stop and thank you. Oh, yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you.
Every day,
Every way, yeah, how sweet it is to be loved by you.
I trust you. How sweet it is to be loved
You're
by you.
loving me and you're guiding me every day. How sweet it is
To be loved by
so sweet,
so sweet. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you.
Woo! That is Janice Edwards and Nathan Fry. How sweet it is, be loved by God. Right? Bring it on. God just loves us if you're able to receive it. That's for sure. And feeling how sweet it is, man, it makes all the difference. Great, great, great. Thank you, guys. Loved it. All right, so here we are. We are starting a whole new series here at Seaside for the next 4 weeks. We're going to take a look at the wonderful writings of Esther Hicks, bringing forth the wisdom of Abraham in her book, The Law of Attraction. And Robin Mitchell, one of our wonderful practitioners here at Seaside, put together a 4-week curriculum. And so there's going to be sacred circles going on that takes the Sunday message to a deeper level. And so I encourage you to sign up in our education table after the service. It's a free home study group in a neighborhood near you on a convenient night for you, short, about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. And if for some reason that location, the time doesn't work for you, this year we have it virtually. You can go online with Audra, the newest of our practitioners, and go in the Zoom room and experience the sacred circles. And so I encourage you to just get involved. It just deepens relationship. It allows you to take the ideas to a deeper place. And today's message in particular relates to the sacred circles. And you can actually find them online if you want under education. You can see what they're all about. But today is about trusting the universe, trusting God. Robin was sharing with me my favorite affirmation I use. I've shared it with you many times, but at 3 a.m. it is my go-to every time. And it is peace now and trust the process. If I can experience peace in this breath, I can just let go and trust the process. Peace now and trust the universe. And I loved Robin's reading today. I mean, how wonderful is it to have a founder that says those that can trust the universe will be happy, prosperous, and well. How do you like that for a foundation? We have a philosopher that says, trust the universe and you'll be happy, prosperous, and well. Count me in for all three of those. Throw in a little health, and I am good for the rest of my stay on this planet. I love it. It is absolutely the way it works. But what happens is that we sometimes forget what we have set in motion through that law of attraction. We've chosen to learn to trust the universe, and we trust this law of attraction, but we forget the vibration that we have cast. I love the story of a not a big story, just a little analogy of a Zen painter who painted this life-size image of a tiger, a Bengal tiger going up a rock cropping on the side of his wall at home. And, he went on doing life. And a few days later, he came home in a daze or stupor, engaged in his thoughts, and he forgot about what he had painted on the wall. He saw a tiger, whoa, jump back. It's like scared himself to almost death. And what happens is we get caught up and engaged with our thoughts and our thinking and our mind and our worries and our concerns and our anxieties. We forget that 3 a.m. affirmation of peace now and trust the process. And we are so fully engaged that we come upon in our life a creation that we have set forth, that we have cast, that we have forgotten about, and it startles us. Where'd that come from? Why am I all of a sudden just shaken or scared or worried or anxiety, or I don't care what you call it, but something just, and forget that, you know what? I'm part of this creation. That somehow I was engaged and I was involved in it, and it is the natural, sequential, logical unfoldment of our thoughts in our life, or our lack of thoughts, that just allows us to be swept up in that collective thinking of the times. Now, I love what Jean Houston writes about getting caught up in the collective. And she's coming to Seaside. And you heard me talk about her. I cannot encourage you enough to get your tickets. She is an icon. She is the peak of, not peak, probably towards near the end of her career, one in which you want to experience, masterful in consciousness. And I just love the way she uses words, which is why I'm kind of sharing this particular paragraph. And it's from her book, Jump Time. I'm probably going to be doing a Sacred Circle in September from Jump Time. So I'm giving you heads up on that. But I just love this. And this book is written for the new millennium, but it's good for any time that change is going on. And you realize that the law of attraction responds to you at the level of your consciousness. Life's not just happening to you. There's this reciprocal kind of action. So she writes, here and now in the new millennium, we too stand on the shore of time, at the edge of history, receiving the winds of change, and fear abounds. Few, if any, have been trained for such a time such as this. We feel cluttered and burdened with the learnings of a world now passing away, shackled by the beliefs birthed out of a narrow view of the cosmos. Ooh, that's good. But no matter how postmodern we pretend to be, each of us has been marinated in the medieval soup of the mind. Is that great? Oh my goodness, we have been marinated in the medieval soup of the mind. And that narrow consciousness of the cosmos is what she's talking about. So to face the radical needs of the future, we need a new natural philosophy, one that encompasses and appreciates what is emerging in the sciences and the psychologies as our evolutionary possibilities come forth. In other words, we have got to recognize that, you know what, even though we have been immersed in a smaller concept of what is possible, it is time for us to allow ourselves, since we're standing on the edge of the new millennium, the new possibility, we've got to move beyond how we have been marinated in limited thinking, not that it was limited when it came about, but what is possible now is calling you into the greater self-expression. Doesn't matter what your challenge has been. Doesn't matter what tiger has scared the bejeeters out of you. You know what? You have been part of it up to this point, and you can now be part of what's next for you. You get to decide, I'm on the edge, and I'm going to step into a greater realm. It's there for you. You're living in this infinite realm of possibilities. You know, you have all this information available to you. I actually wrote about this in my book, Living from the Mountaintop, and I think I was way off on the numerical aspect of it. But the point was there. You know, I was talking about how available to the mind in any given moment, there are 100,000 bits of information that is available to you, and the mind can only process 2,000. I was reading a Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's probably a little bit more qualified to delineate how much information the brain can take in and how much is available, dealing in the quantum realm as he does, a master of knowledge with the brain. He said, how many bits of information are available in every given moment? 400 billion bits of information. I wasn't even close. But where he does agree with me is that the brain can only absorb 2,000 of those bits. 2,000 out of 400 billion? That's a 200 million times difference. I can't even fathom what that means other than that's a lot. There is a lot of opportunities there, and we focus in on this small amount, 2,000 bits of information. Bits, like all the leaves, the grass, the texture, the leaves, the speakers, how many people in this room, what you wear, all these bits of information, and the mind will only grasp this much. And it moves through the filter of that which you have chosen to operate through. It is the law of attraction. This is what I'm attracting in, and I'm trusting that this is the truth of the situation. And I don't know if you get the full picture, if you only get 2,000 out of 400 billion. But what I do know that it's saying is there is amazing possibilities that are available just beyond what you're taking in this moment. And if you're bound by what you're entrenched in your thinking, you can remain stuck. But you can also recognize how you have this wonderful ability to make up the shortfall, the differences, to expand. I got an experiment for you. And you don't need a white lab coat for this. I want you to look at your foot for a moment and just tap your foot. Tap your foot on the ground. And now, do you notice how you tap your foot and you feel it at the same time? Got that? This means yes. Yes, I do. Well, those of you that can feel the tap and see it simultaneously, congratulations, you've just done the impossible. Because, you know what, as you're seeing it, that's the speed of light. The speed of light travels a lot faster than it takes for all your synapses to connect from the bottom of the ground all the way up your leg up and into your brain for it to record. But what the brain is doing is it's filling in the gap. It is figuring out what it's supposed to be feeling and seeing in any given moment. That's what the brain does. It fills in these gaps, doesn't even ask your permission. It just does so based upon what it has been entrenched with or entrained with. And so being able to fill that in, there's a Google-worthy word. Let's see if I can get it out. It is called delay and antedate hypothesis paradox. I like that. You have no idea how long I worked on that for you. Delayed antedate hypothesis paradox is when all of a sudden there is something that's registered in the brain that is dated, and like antedate, dated before it actually happens, and the brain fills in the gaps, and your brain will continue to fill in the gaps. And if all of a sudden you're getting this feedback into your life on what's not working or what is working, you get to analyze, how is my brain filling in these gaps to create this difference between seeing and the light that moves faster than the physiological movement of the synapses connecting. It happens like that all around in our world. If we can begin to recognize that I can choose here on how to be different, I can escape from where I have been in living, this entrapment of where I have been heretofore. All of a sudden, I can begin to get out of where I'm entrapped. Gurdjieff said that to escape, the first thing you have to do is to acknowledge that you're imprisoned. Otherwise, it's impossible to escape. You got that? You first have to acknowledge that you're in prison, that I'm stuck, that you know what? My brain is filling in these gaps, and this is why I'm in this location, because it has been taught or trained to continue to do that. The law of attraction responds to it. I have trusted the universe enough to fulfill the vibration of my being. I have trusted the universe to take care of this process, but I'm basing it upon the vibration that I have cast that is limited, that is imprisoned, that is stuck. I'm the one who's got to say, you know what? I've got to be a little bit more deliberate here, because I am getting the feedback from my world as to where I am. And where I am is good. It's okay. It has served me. I got here. This is nice. But there's greater possibility. And who will help us wonderfully in this kind of thinking is Esther Hicks. And she brought forth Abraham. It's recorded in her book, The Law of Attraction, in a wonderful way. They're asking, hey, tell us about this law of attraction thing. And Abraham comes forth and says, we will begin by saying that you are always using the law of attraction, whether you know it or not. You cannot stop using it, but it is inherent in everything that you do. But we appreciate your question, for you want to understand how to deliberately use it. And that's Kim Jarrett's talk next week, how to deliberately use this. If you want to figure out how to deliberately use it for the achievement of that which you intentionally desire. So being aware that the law of attraction exists is the most important part of utilizing it deliberately. And since the law of attraction is always responding to your thoughts, a deliberate focusing of your thought is what's important. You got that? You've got to deliberately intend to use it. Okay? It's always working. It's like gravity. You're stepping off the cliff, you're going down. I don't care who you are. It is always working. The law is a law. It is infallible. It is available for the kings, to the peasants, for the large, for the small. It knows no large or small. It knows no realms. It is a law that is always working. And when, as Esther was saying, you deliberately intend to, you know what, I'm going to move beyond this. I recognize that which I'm focusing on begins to focus attention that responds to the vibration that has been activated by my focus. You follow me on that one? So, where, not you guys, but a lot of people spend their focus and their time and their attention is not in the present moment where there's 400 bits of information available to experience life. They're hooked up and immersed in the past. Those good old days. If I could just go back to before there were toilets, whatever. Whatever, when nature was beautiful, uninterrupted, or they're caught up in the past in the pain of regret and wish I should have done something like that. And they are just immersed in their rear view mirror kind of living. Or the other one is they're caught up in the future. What's going to happen next. It's called nexting. Are you nexting? Thinking about what's beyond the horizon out there. If that would just come here now, everything would be okay. And you've heard different versions of this poem or these prose or whatever they're called, scribbled on a subway wall with anonymously, that said that when I was young, I was dying to finish high school so I could go to college. And when I was in college, I was dying to finish college so I could go to work. And then when I was in work, I was dying to get married so I could have children. And then when I had children, I was dying for them to get old enough to be able to go to school so I could go back to work. And then I was dying to retire from work. And now I'm dying and I realize that I never lived. That's what happens when you're looking beyond the horizon, when you're nexting and not being in the present moment where there's 400 bits of information that want to respond to the vibration that you're casting. And as you begin to trust the possibility of being able to redirect or recreate your world, it is amazing things that are possible for you. But what happens is we get stuck in the entropy or our fears and that want to keep us stuck or regress us, but there is no going back. God, there is no going back. What we want to do is to go deeper. What we want is for our life and our music and our sound to become richer. And that richness comes out of the same instrument in a new way. Like the instruments have been pretty much the same instruments for a long time. You throw in a little electronic stuff. But basically, it's the same strings and how it works. But where I'm going with that is the music has progressed, and it's not that, what was going on in the classical sounds was the best or it was bad. What has happened, it has gone deeper and richer and has progressed. In our life, it is we've got the same body, just as it's the same kind of piano. It's just the music has gotten richer. What has happened in our life, we have the same tools and the same body, but it's up to us to have it become richer in our life. And the way it becomes richer, you just got to get your mojo going. You got to bring that spirit into your groove with where you're at now. You got to get that life force moving through you in a way it hasn't been up to now. And if you have got 400 billion new bits of possibilities every moment, don't limit yourself to saying, boy, man, I had my best life experience 10 years ago. I trust it was great. But that was only the beginning. That was the seed of the greater possibility of the law of attraction that you have planted that is growing and blossoming. It's getting that mojo going. And it's having that electricity move through you so you not only turn on the lamp, you obliterate the darkness because God has come and arrived. Wild success is about you expressing yourself in levels in which you haven't been before bouncing off the ceiling with the vibrancy because you are a starburst for everyone to see. All you got to do is keep your hair looking good, and no one can resist you in your expression. So you check in with yourself, see if it's moving. Ask yourself, where am I coming from? You know, am I coming from depression or inspiration? Desperation or inspiration? Love or fear? Because I'll tell you, where you're coming from is where you're going. See, that's what you're looking at. You're looking in the rearview mirror. Are you looking off into the future? Or are you in the moment saying, wow, the presence of God's right here in this moment. Isn't this like amazing? Isn't this like way cool? And it shows up because you have these feelings. You got this desire. You got this life force. You got this energy. You've got this something that wants to move through you. And it's magical and it's wonderful. And it's seeking to express through you. And it's God's gift that has been offered to you. And all of a sudden, what some philosophies or religions in the past have been teaching people is, whoa, don't go there. Desires, No. Desiring is wrong. You know, why? It's how we move forward. We have this emergence, but yet people are trying to squelch the natural emerging essence of one's being. And then we get told all these weird concepts that we end up believing that really, if you stop to think about them, don't make sense. And I'm thinking about one that Butch Hutchinson was saying. He's from Lubbock, Texas. He said, there's two things I learned in Lubbock, Texas. He said, one, that God loves you, and you're going to burn in hell. The other was sex is just terrible, awful, and you should save it for someone you love. And it's like you start thinking of these equations that people give you to keep you stuck and entrapped in these perfect areas. What you've got to learn to do is to trust the emergence of your spirit, and it shows up like desire. I'm not saying you give your power away to desire, but Buddha, he didn't say don't desire. He didn't talk about non-desire. He talked about non-attachment. You don't want to be attached to desire. It's okay to say, you know what, I want to create this. I want to express this. I want to be this in our life. It's okay to have desire. What's not okay is being attached to it and throwing a tantrum when you don't get what it is you want. That's what's not okay. And so as you begin to trust that something that is moving through you, it will lead you, it will guide you, it will show you what the possible next step that will take you out of your 2,000 bits of information in the moment, that will take you beyond the fear of the tiger that you had created, that you forgot that you had cast in motion. It will begin to take you to a new level where you haven't been heretofore, but you're opening up to recognize and realizing there is something more, and this sense that is in me is what's calling me. And I've got to listen to that. And it begins to connect you with people. It brings you into relationships. You're no longer out there trying to figure out, will this person lead me? Will this be worthy of my time? No, you're listening. And those connections lead you to the right people in the right situations and the right dynamics. You'll begin to have that motion because your mojo is working. But the motion isn't about you just trying to keep moving. It's not about your legs. It is about the twinkle in your eye. It is about the fire in your tongue. It is about the passion that is in your heart that is seeking to express itself, that it cannot be denied. And you've got to learn to trust your connections in that flow and that spirit. And the more you say yes to how you're being moved in life, the more you'll find life moving before you. Got to trust that. And there's this law of attraction, that infallible part that just responds to consciousness. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, says on page 320 that life is like a mirror that reflects back to the thinker what they thought into it. Got that? Life is like a mirror that reflects back to the thinker what they thought into it. You know, first service didn't get that because I didn't remember it, but I worked on it, so I'd get it close to right. So, but you know, that as we begin to do that, we're utilizing with conscious and deliberate intention this law that is always working, as Esther was telling us. It's always working. And so the Sacred Circles this week, once again, sign up afterwards, no cost to that, is they're going to ask you, what is trying to emerge through you? I mean, what is your idea? What is your creativity? What is it, your passion? What is it that is moving through you? What is that God nudge that is happening for you? And then we'll ask, and how can you creatively support that? And what thoughts do you need to let go of and creatively turn them around? Very simple questions and exercises, but what happens is you are trusting the process, you're trusting the law, but you're intentionally casting a new vibration into which this frequency activates the responsiveness of the law of attraction in a definite, creative kind of way. And so what you want to do is take the charge of your life as opposed to just operating on autopilot, because autopilot is how many people go through life all the time. You ever been driving down the road and all of a sudden a while later you realize, I've been driving, I don't even remember where I've been driving? You know? And then we complain about automated driving cars that drive themselves. Who needs those when we can do it ourselves? You know, it's just this autopilot. We've got to be careful, though, what autopilot that we turn on. I grew up with the movie with HAL 9000. Remember HAL 9000, that chatty robot that took over Space Odyssey 2001? It was like, uh-oh, that's scary stuff. And now we got, the Terminator, this indestructible Terminator. It's like these things are just set on autopilot. We don't want to give our power away. At least in a cockpit of an airplane, you got a pilot and its heart and its soul and its spirit when they put it on autopilot. But you want to be careful that you are in charge. You don't give the power away. Did you see this week in the headlines? This one company that is microchipping, implanting, it's called 3 Square Market in Wisconsin. 40 of its employees got these microchip implants, so they can now, get their food without having to pay. They can turn on their computer. They can open buildings and all sorts of things because in their right hand, right there, they've got it. This microchip. What I want us to be careful of is, this law of attraction responds to our consciousness, and let us not put our life on autopilot, but let us rather begin to say, I am in charge, and I am going to trust how this works, and I'm going to take the responsibility to create. And what shows up in my life that scares me, like that tiger or something, I got to remember, somehow I was part of the creative process there, but I have gotten enmeshed in doing my life that I have forgotten that I'm the one who's casting the mold for spirit to fill. I've got to take charge, and life's going to tempt you to look in that rearview mirror and look back. It's going to try to tempt you, if only when I get out there. But this is the moment where the presence of God is. That's the way it is, right here. Don't look back. Don't look out there too far, but here. This concept of from Greek mythology. Remember Orpheus, the son of the muses, the gods, who played the music and the poetry and the song and the lyre that he played. Shortly after his marriage, his wife died, and so he followed her spirit into the underworld. And as he got to the underworld and got to the Lord of death in the underworld, Hades, he asked Hades, and he played the music and he sang, and it was just so beautiful that Hades said, yes, your wife can go back with you, but under one contention, that on the way out, whatever you do, do not look back, because if you look back, you will lose her forever. And so he followed Hermes, the mediator between the underworld and the upper world. And on his way back, long journey back through the labyrinth to the upside of things, couldn't help it. Look back. Are you still there, honey? And lost her forever. It's human nature. It's human nature. It's not wrong. It's just important to recognize that and remember that, this is the moment that I get to experience God. This is the moment that God is. And I can't tell you about it. I can't tell you about God. You have to experience it. And as you sit in your meditation spot and you search, it can be imparted. It cannot be expressed in words. It is something you've got to come and know for yourself. And when you begin to come from that, you begin to see beyond your edge, your prison, your 2,000 bits of information, that there's infinite possibilities beyond how I have been operating heretofore. That there's more. That I've been marinating in this collective soup, calling it postmodern, but you know what? We're stuck as a collective where we are, and we and you are needed to move this forward, to move it to the next place. And when you can trust with all your being that there is a law that responds, that's been called the law of cause and effect, or the law of attraction, or Judge Thomas Troward would call it the law of mental equivalence, or the Bible calls it done unto you as you believe. It's not a new concept. It's just the law of attraction is the word that we've seen on The Secret, the chapter that Ernest Holmes wrote, the one that is in our vernacular of today that just reminds us that there is a law that responds to the level in which you have chosen. So you've got to trust this, get deliberate with its use, and cast it forward before you in your life. And what happens is you'll find yourself stepping into this and this and this, which is Spirit expressing, and your life will be rich with the creations of your heart's desire. God bless you. I love you. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring back to the stage Janice and Nathan.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. No one stays the same. The young becomes the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Hey.
Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, hummingbirds do fly.
comes from the clouds. Sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly.
Rain comes from the clouds. Sun lights up the sky. And hummingbirds do fly.
Rain comes from the clouds. Sun lights up the sky. Hummingbirds do fly.
Rain from the clouds. Sun from the sky. And hummingbirds do fly.
And music makes me
That is Janice Edwards. Nathan Fry, that song's never been done better. Oh my. Woo, that is one that one feels for sure. You two felt that powerfully. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our offering, to give our love and support and our gifts to support Spirit's work. It's a time to practice our conscious giving. That means with intention, with deliberate intention for sure. Where, as we were talking about, where attention goes, energy flows, and form follows. And when we choose to be conscious and intentional with our giving, what we find is we become that activity that Spirit is having in our life. And Spirit shows up then in response in our life in those areas of concern, of love, of passion, of relevance. You can't outgive Spirit, but what you can do is be part of that expanding givingness and movement of that spiritual flow. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and feel how you have touched and know that this is a significant moment in supporting Spirit's work in your life, as well as the lives of everyone that moves through here. And so I ask you to listen to your heart and say yes to that desire to be able to give and to support, because we stand here this day in this moment because of moments like this for the last 25 years that people said yes, rather than, oh, I can't, and coming up with excuses because looking in the rearview mirror chose to say yes to the emergence of that which is beyond the soup in which they've lived. So with that, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward and say thank you to this wonderful crowd. Thank you to those that mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as a big shout out to those that practice the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside's. That regularity and that dependability makes a significant difference, particularly in this time during the summer. It's just greatly appreciated. Everybody's giving at whatever level you can do. It's significant. So with that, I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine has its expression as our very life and our very activity. For we live and move and have our being in that affluent flow of God itself, and I know that that abundance expresses in all areas of our life, that we become that wonderful avenue in which it expresses in an expanding kind of ways. So with joy to have found a peace and to found a security that rests in not a thing, but rather in an experience of the Spirit, that it shows up in life in those ways that are perfect. So I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for the ability and the awareness to free myself from the constraints to be able to be that expanding expression of the flow of good in God, and so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of that affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Those are your guys from Seaside. Bob Mathis playing that saxophone. That's Jerry on those drums. That's Harley on that bass. And that is Max on the Paul Lloyd Warner piano. Great job, guys. And as I stand before this and this overflowing abundance, I can feel the love. I can feel the expression. I can feel that each of us has become that conduit, that wellspring of that emergence of the greater expression of God that we have said yes to. And we find it enriching and blessing our personal life in all those ways that are just perfect and real and relevant. And I know right now that it moves forth into life, bringing that same kind of blessings to everyone it contacts. I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this moment to be able to give, to be able to share. It is received in love. It is handled in good stewardship. And it is confirmed, and it's sending it forth into life to bring those blessings to all it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for this moment to practice that which we know is the truth. And so it is. Amen. All right. This is Josh Franklin. He's your newest Board of Trustee member, taking care of those legal aspects and that high consciousness for Seaside. Appreciate you for sure. Speaking of appreciation, Nathan and Janice, you two are just fabulous and wonderful. You're just the heart and soul in your song. We are truly blessed to be able to have you. They don't need to go to Martini's on Fridays. They can come to Seaside on Sundays and find a different kind of spirit, for sure. And speaking of spirit, my goodness, Leslie Green, you are just fabulous and wonderful and a blessing. Been thinking about singing? Here you go, right here, September 10th. It starts up. And Reverend Robin Holt, my goodness, less than 2 weeks, Reverend, to your name. It has, you were right, sounds good. Reverend Robin's got a nice ring to it. Very excited about your vision. I know in another week, the International Board of Trustees for our movement reviews your proposal for starting a new work, the first Center for Spiritual Living in Australia, and they will give the green light and stamp. We support you. We're excited. And just know that we are your sister church here on the mainland, supporting you, cheering you on, praying for you, sending you all sorts of goodies. And so leaving in December, and I know you and Rick are throwing a big party December 3rd right here. So everybody plan on being here for that. But we're going to miss you, but we're going to love you. And but, you can show Seaside over there, too. Yeah, evening. So, hey, giving us sound today is Ed. Thank you very much. Giving us the visuals, Marv. Great job. Know that there are CDs available right after service if you'd like to pick one up. And we have people behind cameras everywhere. So a big shout out to the Crawfords, who has been organizing and setting that up. And today it's simulcasting on Facebook and other places too. So Kat no longer has to hold the camera to get those 1,000 viewers on Facebook. It's simulcast from all these 3 great cameras. So we're excited about what's going on. What you're doing is making a difference in the world, and I am truly grateful for that. Let's see, lots going on. Take a look at it. We've got Monday nights here is deep. There's only a few more weeks in August that he's doing that. If you want to have an out-of-body kind of spiritual experience, come and just lie down in this room with the bongs and the bowls and the sounds and the music. It's incredible. You'll be glad you did. Today after service, if you want to hear about the basics of the science of mind, that's going on in the Emerson room. Jenny's sharing that if you're curious. We have got the sacred circles. If you're interested in those, go ahead and sign up for that. Also, August, summer ending party at Nancy Cunningham's. That annual party is going on in August. Read about that in the Sunday program. The board's throwing a party September 17th out here, free food and concert with your kiddo. And Jamie Lula, they're going to be doing that. So there's a lot that's going on. Next week, you got Kim Chero, who's heading up her education. She is going to be leading the Sunday service. And the week after, you saw Esther, Michael, the Reverend Dr. Michael, touting her. So there's a lot of good going on that we keep offering. The summer is alive and dynamic and encouraging you to come out. So, and if you can't come out, just remind you can do the, as I shared before, the Sacred Circle online with Audra. You can go into the Zoom room and don't even have to leave your house. You can be down in Rosarita and be part of the Sacred Circles. No excuses. You can continue to work on that tan of yours. So, but anyway, hey guys, anybody want to talk to me today? Zane?
Hello. So today, back there, we did some. We learned about happiness. And
that's a good thing. So did we.
Also, today we wrote down what we were grateful for. And would you like me to demonstrate what mine was?
Yes, I would like that.
Okay, so here's some things I was grateful for. The ever-growing dictionary of the English language technological advancements from human-made inventions, and human intelligence stretching to knowledge of our current state of the galaxy.
Whoa! Woo! Nice job, Zane. We're in good hands. Woo! I like that. Yes. What'd you want to say? I saw your hand.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Okay. Maybe this was the hand I saw over here. Hey, Kane.
Well, he was really white. And he also took my thing I was going to say. Well, I made a picture of what I was grateful for instead. I gotta find it.
Okay, you find it for us. You know, you guys are making a journal every week, so you keep coming back. You want to hold it up so everybody can see it? There it is. Don't you want to say anything? Woo. Is that wonderful to have a youth program that just supports our young ones in their emergence in life? It is, I'm just so proud of how we support our kids, and it touches my heart for sure. What I want to do is pray. Oh, let's say this as we look at our kids, the affirmations. Let's say together, we see you, we love you, we support you in your magnificence. One more time, we see you, we love you, and we support you in your magnificence. So that is just beautiful. I want to pray, so I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners that are present to stand. And as we just all open our hearts and our arms to receive the blessings and the grace of God and know that this truly is a blessed moment where the richness of that infinite touches down in our field of expanding awareness. For there's so much more here in this realm in which each of us can choose to become aware of. And so in this moment, I choose to feel that divine vibration of spirit, of the love and the joy and the wisdom, that intelligence that guides all things. I allow myself to slip into that breath, that first cause, that all-initiating, animating life force that has moved within this cosmos of this world, this sense of order. For there truly is a law of responsiveness, of reciprocity, of spirit. It's how this dimension of form works. And so grateful to be able to feel that I am of this life, that Spirit is moving here and now, and that I am one with Spirit. As I share these words with all of us present, as we open up our field of awareness for that experience that cannot even be articulated, but it is sensed, it is felt, it is the joy that we felt as we listened to our youth, as we laughed, as we heard the song and the music, and recognized how we can always move deeper into a richer place. And knowing that in this moment of the richness of the divine, it fills each of us with that which is important to our heart's desire, the emergence of that which is ours to do. And if there's anything that's getting in the way of that kind of fulfillment, of that kind of success, any human dynamic or experience that is showing up in our body or our world of affairs or our relationships, lift it up. Be willing to hold it into the light and allow your mojo just to obliterate that darkness and that concern. For you have brought the presence of God into this frequency. You have entered actually into the divine frequency, for it has always been available. And it's in this realization that the floodgates have been opened and Spirit pours forth, bringing the good in the relevant kind of ways into our individual lives. For we have consciously cast that new vibration of wholeness, of good, of abundance, of joy, of love, of creativity, of self-expression, of freedom. It's right to walk this world with the freedom to create. And so if there's any ways in which you feel that you are being denied or constricted or restricted, shackled or imprisoned, know, as Gertrude have said, the first way of escaping prison is to acknowledge that you are in prison. Otherwise, it's impossible. And so as we move to that mountaintop view and begin to see as God sees and feel as Spirit feels and know as the divine knows, anything unlike it just falls away without battle, without concern, but because there's a new way of seeing. And the attention goes to the presence of God that is present in this moment attraction is activated. Response is present. Form takes shape, and spirit lives as our experience. So I'm grateful in this moment for the words we've shared and for every prayer request that's been brought forth into our prayer chest, for our practitioners who speak the words of truth, are able to articulate that divine vibration. A big heart opening for past board president Ron Threat, who made his transition on Friday, that he moves on with the ease and the grace. He called and spoke to him Thursday and just wanted everyone to know how much he loved and appreciates Seaside for being a significant part of his life. And I know right now that is the kind of love that he is and continues to be, and then he moves on with those currents free from the physical constraints. That essence that put the twinkle in his eyes continues to sparkle in the heavens, for the stars shine bright. And I know right now that he moves on with a deep kind of knowingness, with a life that has been fulfilled, and for his wife Emily left behind, that she is surrounded with love and with a peace that passes any kind of logical understanding, just with a deep sense of all is well. For we live in a sense of the universe that all is well. For we are together as a clan, as a spiritual community, as a tribe, as a family. We are here together to journey. Seaside continues to be a place where we come to remember, to refresh, to renew, to revitalize, recharge, so we can go forth into life as that spiritual leader that these times have called us to be. And as we continue to fulfill that destiny of spiritual leadership in the life in which we walk, I know Spirit continues to show up in an ever greater, increasing kind of way for humanity. Grateful to know that love prevails. Grateful to know that the work that is going on at Seaside is supported, continues to grow, and I live with a sense of trusting this process of putting Spirit first and knowing everything shows up as it is needed for Seaside and the members of this community. I say thank you. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for the ability to see the Spirit present in the 400 billion bits of information in this moment of now. I let go with a deep sense of awe and wonder and gratitude for the divine right action that is having its way. Let go, let God, and so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all myself, and I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand, but now I can say, if you are discouraged and you are struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it go. Bye-bye. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here
And our affirmation. Hey, before the affirmation, I just want to tell you, a bunch of us, not us, but from Seaside, getting together for a concert to hear Daniel Tucker in Carlsbad Friday night. So put that on your calendar, check it out, look for the Seaside Balloon or something. But okay, now, hey, trust my inner guidance. Let's say that together. I trust my inner guidance. Again, I trust my inner guidance. Touch your heart and say it again. I trust my inner guidance. One more like it's the truth. I trust my inner guidance. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears, in this world as I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace, we are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living